Hit it. Oh, how you feel, brother? Feeling good. You feel good?
Okay, welcome to another week and another edition of AskTheFatDoctors.com. I am T. Fox along with Dr. Braxton Cosby. I always like saying that.
That is got a nice smooth flow.
Does Dr. Braxton Cosby, and along with my friend, my buddy, my brother. He also claims to be a doctor. That's Dr. // Jamie Dukes.
That's right. In the house. Good to see you. How's it going today?
Good to see you. Looking good, my friend.
I'm doing all right. How about you, Doc?
I'm good.
Yeah, you're looking good too.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to have a whole lot of fun this hour. Coming up, we're going to be talking to Dr. Terry Fullum. We're going to have a really, really candid discussion with him. I tell you, man, we're going to be talking about the BMI. We're going to be talking about this waist thing and, you know, this.
We're going to talk junk in the trunk and all that.
Yeah, junk in the trunk, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to have frenemies, and you're going to tell us all about what frenemies is all about.
Dr. Dukes' frenemies.
Yeah, Dr. Dukes'
You don't
frenemies.
want to miss that.
Yep, all of that is coming up, along with Hold On Playa. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're going to have all of that and more coming up right here on Ask the Fat Doctors. And don't forget, I didn't mention earlier, AskTheFatDoctors.com. Please log on there and submit your questions. We'll be taking those throughout the course of the show. And we'll be having a lot of fun with that, too. All of this being brought to you by Chacha's, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. Take it away, Dr. Dukes.
Well, first I want to talk about stats. This is a very interesting concept, Dr. Cosby, you have.
Stats, right.
You know, and trying to figure out, you know, because obviously my story speaks to, I've had, played 10 years in the National Football League, I've had now 7 teammates who died all before the age of 47 from obesity-related deaths, and as I say, there's an obesity epidemic it's in the NFL.
Right.
Not among the current players, it's among the retired players. And really, that obesity epidemic, as I'm looking and as you see the numbers, are really transcending into mainstream America. When you think about all the problems that we're having, we're seeing childhood obesity going up at an all-time high. That's why I'm glad that, the things that we're doing with the Put Up Your Dukes Foundation, with the Gateway to a Healthy Community, across the country. These are all important things. But, Doc, you have, I think, a great where you start to kind of find out where you are. And talk about stats.
Yeah, it's an acronym I came up with because as you try to measure fitness, wellness, and just overall health, where do you fit in? Because, you have so many different things involved. You got your height, your weight, your demographics, the socioeconomic strains, and then also, what ethnicities we have. So I try to come up with something a little bit more global. The BMI, those types of things, that helps be a good predictor of your susceptibility for some of the things like stroke, heart attack, and things like that. But the stats...
Before you get in, when you say BMI, what is the BMI exactly?
That's your body mass index.
Okay.
And it's basically just kind of looking at you as an individual with your height and your weight and where you stand as far as just the numbers. It's a numbers game. You plug them into equations and you come out with a number that is in a value as far as where you are, as far as if you're overweight, if you're obese, type category 1, 2, and 3, which is when you get into the morbidly obese, which really increases your percentage or your chances of having heart attack, stroke,
I just
diabetes.
don't know why when we have these conversations, he always seems to look at me. When
you seem to be the most attentive.
Is that what it is? Because I'm paying attention. I'm looking at you.
Yeah,
and
make eye contact when you talk. You have to make eye contact.
Okay,
I'm paying attention.
You are.
I'm paying
It's
attention.
a different type of paying attention. His eyes just get real beady.
Okay.
Right? Like a beady eye.
Like I want to jump over there and anyway, talk about the stats, man.
All right, let me break down the stats. Stats, the S is talking about sex. And, of course, definitely, in marriage kind of sex relationship we talk about. But the frequency of what you're having sex. So now studies are showing that the more sex you're having, you're living longer. So you really want to.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, because it's.
Well, I'm happy. I know that's right.
I guess it's the most amount of working out you can do. Yeah, I want to go back to the point you were making, Jamie, about these athletes, big pro athletes. You got these offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and they're probably walking around with obese numbers compared to what the BMI is.
While they're playing.
But what's
obese.
different?
Right.
What's different, though?
Right, while they're playing.
What's significant is they're active. Think about it. There's 6 months out of the year, NFL, you got the training camps.
No, it's
you got
longer
the whole,
than,
it's even longer than that.
It's 9 to 10 months a year.
So let's look at 9 to 10 out of 12 months of the year. You're doing something.
Right.
You're active. You're
At
in
a
the
high
camps.
level.
You're doing high level. So even in an average NFL game, you're blocking real explosive, you take a little break, go back to the huddle, come back again. At least you're doing something. Now you take that same athlete who retires, good amount of money, still eating good, not any activity going on anymore.
But I mean, but he's still, but this
Still
is the
eating
thing.
good. He's still eating good.
But see,
Yeah.
this is
Like
Eating well. Does that make it better?
He was painting a picture like I had some mayonnaise I was putting on a sandwich, and he was just actually took the mayonnaise out of the sandwich, just painted it on my waistline. He just eating good.
But you know what? When they retire, they continue those same habits with no
absolutely.
activity.
Without the activity.
But here's what I say to that. Think about it this way. You folks, now I'm pointing at y'all.
Now he's looking at me.
No,
Now he's looking at me.
Both y'all, 'cause
But what is you folks?
Well, you folks.
What is that?
I'm just saying.
You
just-
people? You gonna say that? You
people?
people?
Yeah,
What is that?
because it's like me asking you to, you know what? I want you to live off 60% of the oxygen that you normally live off every single day. And if I asked you to do that, you know that your body would have a reaction. Well, as an athlete, what happens is your body is so trained to consume those quantities, asking the body not to do it, there are cravings, strong cravings. So it's not as easy as just turn it off. And that's one of the problems I have with that.
Yeah. Okay, I get that.
And something else that we're going to talk about next week is genetic predisposition, which has, I think, a lot to do with it as well. But so we're at stats.
So we're at
stats.
the S, which
So
was
the
the sex.
S.
So we covered it's a two-parter.
And you know what's interesting about that is that stats is spelled STATS.
Right.
But you put the sex at the very beginning instead of the S at the very end.
I noticed that.
That's
I'm with
interesting,
you, Player.
right?
Oh, no,
Is that-
okay. Pound time,
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
good.
with you on that.
That's pretty interesting.
That's
I
right
thought
where
I'd
it
bring that to
should
your
be.
attention.
Well, okay, and it's a two-parter. The sex is a two-parter.
Right where it
If
should
you
be.
are male or female, we talk about health and wellness. We talk about men can easily put on more lean muscle mass than a woman can quicker. And then we also talk about some of the predispositions that women have with osteoporosis. Once you get into your 40s, it's too late to start loading on calcium and all those things. You needed to start doing that back in your 20s because women lose calcium and bone density faster at a higher rate once they hit into their 40s. Now, definitely, if you haven't done it, start doing it. Start loading because it can't hurt. But we talk about just some of the things that women are predisposed to have as far as males. So your sex, just your actual male or female, does make a huge difference in your overall wellness.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the activity; it's about what you are.
And because there was two meanings, you put it on front. That's
You
what
know
I
we do. You know how we do.
That was good.
All right.
Because what they say about men that we always, how many times a day?
Right.
Okay, that's right. So what's the T? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay,
I got
so let's
distracted.
go on to the T. T is
Right.
total cholesterol.
Oh, I thought it was T Fox. Go ahead.
No,
Right.
it's T Fox. It's about T Fox, but in this case, we're talking about the total cholesterol T.
Right.
All right. And the total cholesterol talks about the good and the bad cholesterol that you have. Okay. What you want to do is, if you haven't done it, if you don't do it yearly, you should get an annual physical. Go to your primary care physician, get a total blood draw, so you can get an idea of where your cholesterol is.
Yep.
This covers your triglycerides, your LDLs, and your HDLs. Your HDLs are your good cholesterol, which is what you need in order to just keep you alive somewhat. It insulates the cells and the nerves and all of that stuff. And then also the LDLs, which is your bad cholesterol. You want to know where you fall in those categories, so it's important to get an idea of where you are with those. And that's going to help you really determine how your eating habits, how much exercise you get, because exercise does help to pump some of that cholesterol out. Once that cholesterol starts to build up in your vessels, it basically sticks to the walls and it closes in slowly over time, and that's where you end up getting
the blockage.
Exactly, you get a heart attack and things like that. So you want to know those numbers.
Now, what about the triglycerides? Because I never really understood all the different cholesterol.
Yeah, triglycerides are like participants in the whole cholesterol game. They act somewhat against you in the overall numbers.
So you don't want those either.
Well, you need them. Again, triglycerides, we talk about the building blocks of your body. You need a certain amount of fat. These guys help in that process. They help they're builders.
Gotcha.
But
So basically what you're saying in a lot of these cases, we need, for example, because I know you need the proper cholesterol, there's good cholesterol, bad cholesterol. You need certain levels, but what happens is, the long story short is these levels get askew.
exactly.
And so we've got to find a way to get at the right levels, and that's controlled by.
Just keep them in balance.
Right, and the total number you want to be under is 200.
Gotcha.
You do not want to go over
Total?
200.
That's
Total
the
number.
total.
That's everything
Total,
added
that's
around
everybody.
it. Yeah, and don't get it confused. HDL, LDL, then triglycerides. It's not all three of those guys. The way it's calculated is a little bit different. But overall, your doctor will tell you your overall cholesterol number is bam, and you want to be under 2.
With
Okay.
my doctor,
Yeah.
see, we don't have all this land because I don't know what he's saying right now. But I know I'm going to research this.
Yeah.
See, I don't have nearly all this technical
Yeah, that's what
the measurement thing.
that's
But
what
I
was
know
saying.
go
I'm
to the
trying
doctor, and
let him tell you what's happening.
And make sure you make that, because see, that's one of the problems I think as men that we have.
Yeah.
When my wife Angela was the best at making sure that getting me on a doctor's routine. We would actually schedule dates, lunch around both of us going to the doctor.
That's cool.
Because
That's
just
real
and
good.
creative
That's real
tools for couples to kind of, because just face it, we're stupid. I mean, men.
Well, I
Let's just be honest. I mean, we're stupid. We're just
you
stupid.
You can be a little questionable.
No, we're stupid.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Now, y'all got y'all thing going on too, but we are stupid.
Yeah, we got a few things going on too, but you guys do have a just
You could say it.
hard-headed. Just hard-headed. I just don't
that's
understand
nice.
you
Thank
sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, just
right.
don't. Yeah, you can be a little simple.
Just say stupid. You can't say it.
You can be very
You're
simple.
nice. That's one thing I love about you, T. That's one thing I love about you.
You all can be a little
You can't
simple.
say something nice. Don't say nothing at all.
That's
I
right.
like it.
That's
I like
the way
it.
I was raised.
So the A is what?
The A is your activity level.
Activity.
So you got to measure your activity level. How active are you?
So that's a
times a
capital
week.
A.
Yeah, that's a big A.
Capital A.
That's huge.
Active and that is all to do with exercising.
Yeah, well,
Period.
and not even
Or-
that. You think about the average couch potato, and there's a lot of jobs now with IT where people are working from home.
Sure.
So they don't have to get up and go. I mean, the most activity they got to do is get to the refrigerator
That's why
and
they
back
need
again.
charger size.
Exactly. And charger size can help with that. Get your little 20 minutes in a
That's
day.
right.
They're even starting to show studies that just that 20 minutes a day. I mean, remember, it's better to do something than nothing. And one lady who lost a lot of weight who I spoke with last year, she said she just came up with a different mindset. She said, move more, eat less. And I thought it was brilliant because that's really the truth of it. People we're too inactive and then we're eating more. And you're going to have weight gain. So just measuring your activity level. And that's something that I'll be talking about in the blog, just how we can go about doing that. How active am I? How many days a week am I exercising? For one, I want to take that outside of just your daily activity. This is what you're doing on a daily basis to be active. Your job demands, how much are you moving?
Right, and we'll be telling you more about an option for your activity, and that's Chatricise, and we'll be telling you a little bit about that a little bit later. And also, I just want to reiterate to make sure that you hit us up at askthefatdoctors.com to submit your questions, because I know we're giving you a lot of information, so you may have questions. So hit us up at askthefatdoctors.com. Okay, now we're moving on to we are at STA.
The next
and
big
then
capital
T.
T is training. So now you get into your exercise. Do you have a trainer? Are you have a gym membership? Are you actually getting out and walking?
And Doc, I promise you, next week, I'm
We're gonna
coming
do
to
it.
you. I'm
right.
with you.
Yeah, because you've been training, right, T?
Yeah, I have been training.
What, for a marathon or what?
Actually, it's the little Peachtree Road Race thing that comes up in July.
You really?
Right.
So you
and
gonna run?
that's actually
Are you gonna do the
6K.
wheelchair thing?
No, I'm the wheelchair thing.
Is she pushing somebody in a wheelchair?
No, I don't know. I'm just
No, I'm
asking.
not. I'm actually going to run this time. Last
You
time
are?
I walked,
Okay.
but I'm
So
going to
there's
run.
okay.
Yeah,
No, I
I'll
was
run.
just asking. I mean,
Yes, I'm training.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm training. And you know what?
You see
And
how
I
he's
will.
looking at
And
you?
I will.
Did you
And
see
I'm
that?
telling you.
Did you see that?
Now
I
I'm
got a
telling
little
you.
intrigue.
No, you
I
don't
cut my
listen.
mustache off and I start rubbing my lip anyway.
Now I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you now. I'm training for this, and I'm gonna put pictures up on askthefatdoctors.com,
Good.
and everyone will be able to see.
That's
it.
right. Motivated. We got to
Right.
get you some sponsors.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I need some of those
Yeah.
because I need to get this.
But
continue
you
my
are.
training.
But you are doing it.
Absolutely.
See, you didn't seem convinced when you said it.
Yeah, I am.
I
Absolutely.
mean, maybe you could. I mean, when she said
He
she was
put
gonna,
you out there. Now it's done. You
Oh,
know,
it's a
he made
wrap.
sure he hammered that down
But
with
for
about
sure.
10 nails.
I was.
no,
the
I'm training.
The peach. I'm training for the.
It's going to be the Peachtree Road Race.
Yeah, but
It's the 4th of July. It's the 4th of July
Well,
weekend
we
every
know
year.
it's the 4th of July.
Okay, well, I'm training for that. I'm going to run it this time. I walked it last time, and I'm not going to tell you what my time was, but yes,
That's
I'm
okay,
training.
but you made it.
You
I
just
did.
finished.
I just
I
wanted
did.
to
I
make sure
did
you were
finish.
sure
I did
because it
finish.
seemed like you just grabbed something out of the air. You was training for, and it was going to be like it's either the Olympics or the Peachtree Road Race. It just kind of came to mind.
She was maybe thinking of some kind of race over in Europe, but she was
Yeah.
wondering where she could pinpoint it.
No. That's all I'm
Turn it
saying.
into a vacation at the same time.
I'm sorry, Doc. So the T is training,
The T
and what's
is
the
training.
S?
So
And then
training
S.
regimen, how many days, and then the last S is really spiritual wellness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't want to get into denominations and things like that, but just having some connection with a spiritual relationship outside of just yourself, because within yourself is not enough, you know?
Sure.
Separating your body from your spirit and thinking, what kind of things do you have that are enhancing your spiritual relationship so that when you get to that point where you don't feel like you can get over the top, you can actually push yourself just that much further beyond just what your body's telling you, because your body's going to be sore, going to be hurting, and then say, I can tap into something just a little bit extra to get me where I need to be.
You know, I had outer body experience where, when I'm working out, I felt.
Jamie.
How far out
what?
did you go out of the body?
Right.
I mean, like really out of the body. I mean, just,
What was
and
it,
talking
Jamie?
to my, no, I was saying like, telling myself, you got to work out. Fat boy, you got to work out.
You must work
You got to work out.
Were you outside of your body looking at yourself? Had you moved there?
that is
but mine is
hilarious.
Mike Tyson, actually. He's the guy that motivates me. Look here, Duke. You better get your fat butt up right now and start working out. I'm going to punch you in the face.
Is this pre-acting Tyson, or this is a...
This is, hey, look.
You know, and I'm
I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm out of work here. I can't fight anymore.
Okay, so see, we're gonna use
Yeah,
that.
I think it's time.
We're gonna break right into that. And again, ask the doctors.
You look kinda cute today.
AskTheFatDoctors.com. Please log on. Submit your questions.
Guy, the tall guy with you?
And we will take those questions throughout the course of the show. AskTheFatDoctors.com. Coming up, we're going to be talking to Dr. Fullum. We're going to be having a real crazy fun segment with Hold On Player. We'll tell you all about that. And we'll be taking your questions. Okay, right here. All of that and more coming up next right here on AskTheFatDoctors.com.
The diseases of excess weight are taking a toll on the brown community, which includes African Americans, Mexican, Latino, and individuals of Asian descent. That's why the AARP's multicultural outreach is taking the lead to provide you with relevant tools like Ask the Fat Doctors. You know, the AARP is more than just discounts. Did you know the AARP has cutting-edge programs to help boomers take steps towards financial freedom? We can help you devise a strategy to manage your money, control your mortgage debt, control your consumer debt, and give you the strategy to maintain healthy credit. Boomers, it's time you learn everything AARP has to offer. Log on to AARP.com and find out what you can do today.
Welcome back to Ask the Fat Doctors. I am T. Fox along with Dr. Braxton Cosby and Jamie Dukes, who has just
Why do you always
officially
introduce me last?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to set you up because you've just become a doctor. I don't know how between last segment and this segment that you.
I mean, I don't know my stats
PhD,
just yet, but I'm gonna work on that. Braxton's teasing us with the stats thing.
Yeah, we'll introduce that as we go.
Yeah, and we'll learn all about our stats, your health guide at AskTheFatDoctors.com. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to be talking to Dr. Terry Fullum. He is the head of the Howard University Hospital Bariatric Program, and he's an Ask the Fat Doctors contributor. Now, Jamie, since you have just officially become a doctor, this is called your frenemies?
Yeah, it's frenemies. Frenemies is a real simple concept. When you think about it, and that was Dr. Dukes.
That is Dr. Dukes.
Good.
That is
Is that DR period or just
No, it's DR.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Or DLC.
DR.
I'm just wondering how we.
No, it's DR with no
how we
period.
establish what this is.
See, when you get a period, that's official.
Oh, okay. So you left it off. Okay, now you're
That's
good.
right.
You're
So,
good.
see,
Is there like a dash in there too? DR
Yes.
dash
hyphen.
Okay, hyphen. Okay,
No,
we'll go
it's
with a
dash
hyphen.
hyphen.
Dash hyphen. Okay.
Dash hyphen.
But I want you to think about this.
A
Frenemies.
dash and hyphen, isn't it?
You can
the
do
same
that.
thing?
No. You can semantics.
Semantics.
Maybe as a double dash.
Well, I mean, but because I don't want to get sued. That's why you have to put those kind of things in there.
Right.
But the whole concept of frenemies is real simple. If you look at, and I guarantee you, anybody, you look at the failures in your life, all of your life, one, if not all three of these frenemies will be at play.
Okay.
The first one is friends, whether it be fair weather. If you're not doing what they want you to do, everything's cool when you go
Bandwagon
Yeah,
jumpers,
but when you're
doing-
rolling with them, it's cool. But then all of a sudden, you say I can't do something. Then all of a sudden, that's when the haterade starts and they start to try to undermine
they
you.
throw up the deuces.
Exactly.
Right.
So friends is one, family is other. When you think about just the fact that sometimes only family can give you tough love. And it's only, they can tell you stuff that, say, some other folks can't tell you, and sometimes family won't tell you.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. Family can be yes men just like
No
your
question.
friends can.
No question.
And that can open up a whole nother can of stuff.
And then there's the friend that's the enemy on the inside. And that's the most dangerous one
man.
of the three. So when you look back at your life,
Is that the wolf in sheep's clothing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
no, it's wolf in
kinda.
your clothing.
Right,
Okay.
right. Yeah,
because it's
right.
you. It's
not
that
quite.
other voice
Oh,
in
I
you
hear you. I hear you.
that tells you when you want to go out and do that workout today because you need to get your thing on.
Mm-hmm.
That I could just lay here 10 more minutes.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
and I'll or I can cut that workout.
And in half. Then you can just say, you know what, forget it. I'll just do it tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like
See, we don't want to
Well,
switch to that mindset.
No,
yeah,
but
I know, but that's
Okay.
what that enemy is about.
That's what that enemy
That's
is.
what
All
that
right,
enemy
all right.
is.
And so,
yeah.
in every aspect of our lives, that is the main culprit that gets in the way of us doing what we need to do. And so, I see it happening time and time again.
Well, it happened to me yesterday. I have to admit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the friend of me, she was on full
so
blast.
was it two of us? Was he and she? So it's like remember in the Flintstones, you had the good and the bad on both shoulders. So it was a
Right.
she and he thing.
Yeah, you have the angel and you have the.
Is that when you were supposed to
call
call me for the workout and you decided to put the phone on silent? Okay.
Okay.
But that's the concept of what frenemies is all about. And so we see stories time after time about frenemies getting in the way of people doing what they're supposed to do. I look at myself. And I've seen now, as we talked about, so many of these athletes and former teammates and friends who pass away because, they don't take care of their business, whether it be going to the doctor and the preventative maintenance. I had a terrible situation where a friend of ours, friend of the family, who, decided to go from, instead of going to get the best medical care, had a brain issue, went to another facility. And it was, again, to me, it was that voice on the inside that told her, no, I want to go over here, as opposed to going to Emory and letting them do what they do best.
Sure.
And ended up really, tragically, the person is brain dead.
Oh,
Wow.
mercy.
Yeah. And I can't help but think and literally the reason I mention this because I just lived my life through that prism.
Sure.
That
Absolutely.
when these things don't happen and they don't go the way they're supposed to go, that is the main culprit, and that's the problem that we have to deal with. And so,
And I know in healthcare, that's one of the major issues is that people they feel it's better just that they don't know that they have a problem, so they just don't go. So as long as I don't know, then it doesn't exist. Well, that doesn't take
Sure.
away the fact that it exists just because you don't know about it.
Well, that's that is the denial that we talked about, even with your 7 teammates.
yep.
That are unfortunately gone and not with us anymore. It is a denial thing. There was some denial. The both of us have had our own denials
Sure.
when it has come to health and wellness and some of the things that we've been faced with.
Yeah.
Dr. Dukes.
That's it. So that's Dr. Dukes' frenemies.
Right.
All right.
Right.
And so, throughout the year, and that's sponsored by Chatricize, by the way, throughout the year, we'll continue to have just different fun and different situations where we can just talk about different frenemies that you can see from reports. For example, I was looking at a story the other day about, what's the actress's name? She's got an Oscar now. I'm drawing a blank on her name. Miss America.
Miss America.
She was
Vanessa
a former
Williams?
not Vanessa Williams, the other one who took her.
Halle?
Halle
Berry?
Halle.
What did you
Williams.
forget about Haley Berry?
How
Both
can
of
I
y'all,
forget
first
about
of
it?
all,
Have you seen my wife? That's how I forget. I don't pay no attention to that kind of stuff.
That's good. That's good. That's real
That was
good.
real good. Halle
Kudos
Berry.
to you.
Yes.
Halle. You said Haley. You said Holly.
What's the
It's
difference?
Halle.
It's Halle.
Is it Haley?
It's Halle Berry.
Did you change your name, or has
No,
it always been
it's
Halle?
always been Halle. I don't know where you guys got that from.
Well, Halle.
From Miami, we call her Haley Berry.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
Haley Berry.
well,
Yeah, yeah.
That's a South Beach thing.
That's a southern.
Halle.
That's the southern way of saying
Right,
it.
all the way
That's
to
one
the
word.
tip.
Southern.
Yeah.
Right.
Haley has
Halle.
type 1 diabetes.
Right.
Absolutely, she does.
And so
She does.
now, according to a report, she's cured from type 1 diabetes. I don't know how you got.
I don't know.
That's why I can't
I
wait to
heard
talk
about
to
that.
Dr. Fullum on exactly how she got cured of type 1 diabetes.
Well, let me tell you something. I heard the same thing about Halle saying that she was cured from type 1.
Right.
And type 1, that's
the
born
big
that.
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the big boy.
Yeah, you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
And with Halle, it's that, having type 2 diabetes, or, and having something so-called quote unquote wrong with you, that's not very pretty, right?
Yeah. But
it's not very pretty.
But I guess the question is why? Well, we'll find out.
Right.
Can you be cured? Number
No,
one.
It sounded,
I don't think you can.
Okay, but how did that sound to you? When she
it
said
sounded
that?
like she did the Magic Johnson thing.
Right.
Went across
exactly.
the pond and got her
some magic potion.
Something that the USDA hadn't approved.
Right.
And got her drug on.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the only thing that I could think of.
Right.
If that's possible at all.
No, from my standpoint, bottom line is she was misdiagnosed. She was type 2 all along, and they told her she was type 1. Because I think she had this, around the age of 6 or 7? The diagnosis actually came out. So somebody made a oops.
But what if she's not cured, and maybe she is just saying it to be saying it?
It depends on where her levels are now. Now, if her levels are reading where she's normal, and she's not having all these symptoms and things like that that go along with diabetes, then she was misdiagnosed.
Yeah, but see,
I just don't know about it.
Yeah, but see, I got the suspicion, though, I guess to my point, is that this is created. And I don't know. I'm not a doctor. And I haven't seen her medical report, so don't sue me.
That her saying that it's being her being cured was created.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you know what? Just on cue, I think Dr.
Is that Dr. Fullum?
I think that's the real doctor on the phone. Dr. Fullum?
Hey, how are you?
Hey there. This is T. Fox. I just needed to let you know it's good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Jamie Dukes is perpetrating as a doctor, and I'm glad to have a real doctor on the line.
Well, I got one. We got Dr. Cosby here, who's as well.
Exactly. And I feel comfortable and I feel safe and good about having Dr. Cosby to my left, but this perpetrating Dr. Dukes to my right is just.
Well, Dr. Dukes, he's very inquisitive, and he usually takes a lot of notes. So anything that he said is probably very close to being on point. And I'm sure Dr. Coffey would straighten him up if he said something that wasn't quite accurate.
The one thing we've corrected him on so far is a double dash, rather than a period after the DR.
Well, see, that's the thing, Doc. My doctorate, there's no period. It's a dash and a space.
Yes.
So therefore, that way I don't have to worry about getting sued for malpractice. So I can practice my medicine that way.
Right.
But you jumped in on the conversation, and we were talking about Halle. What's the girl's name?
Okay, we're talking
Halle
about
Berry.
Halle Berry. Halle Berry.
Okay.
That's her name.
And so Halle Berry or Haley, whatever her name is.
Halle
Bailey. I think that's
Berry.
her last name.
Harry Bailey.
She says she's cured from type 1 diabetes. Is that possible, first of all?
Yeah, with a transplant.
Wow.
What kind of
transplant? With a transplant. Not for type 1, because type 1, you don't have islet cells. You don't have the cells that secrete the insulin. And so, therefore, the only cure for type 1 diabetes, cure, quote unquote, is to give someone a pancreatic transplant. Mm-hmm. Now, with type 2, you're making the insulin, but the insulin is ineffective. Either the cells don't secrete it enough in response to the need, and or once the insulin is released, it's not effective where it needs to be effective at the cells with regards to, the sugar and the glucose metabolism. So we can change the metabolism, make the insulin more effective, and that's one of the things that the gastric bypass does, and that's why we're curing type 2 diabetes with the bypass surgery. But with type 1 diabetes, the cells in the pancreas aren't working at all.
Okay,
so that's a little bit different.
So you can't. So there is a way to actually be cured from type 1 only by a
type
transplant.
2. Is it type 2 or type 1 you can be cured from?
Right.
Type 1 requires the transplantation of islet cells. Right. You
only.
have to have the new cells transplanted inside for the cure.
Now, everybody, Dr. Fullum, everybody believes that this is just a matter of having too much fat. And they say, well, you gain too much weight and having diabetes. But isn't it also, it's like you say, it's a mismatch. You don't have enough insulin for all the cells. So even a big bodybuilder who would put on a massive amount of cells as far as muscle is concerned, if they just can't meet the demand of the insulin, wouldn't they be prone for diabetes as well? Yes.
But there are some specific relationships between the fat cells themselves and also the secretion of what we call incretins that come out in the area of the duodenum.
Did you call me a cretin? Is that what he did?
I did.
My gosh.
These incretins, they also suppress the pancreas from secreting insulin and also reduce the effect of insulin peripherally as well. So it certainly can happen with anyone who is very large, but it particularly is prone to occur in those who are obese and overweight, and it's directly related to the fat cells themselves.
Doc, we got to go to a break, but when we come back, we want to talk to you about, because we didn't really, I want to, you came in the middle of a conversation about, what's her name again?
Her name is Halle
Berry.
Berry.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
thank you, Doctor.
yeah.
Oh, I know Halle Berry.
So do I.
So maybe you
I'm a little
performed.
disappointed that Jamie is unaware, but we'll.
Well, I know who she is. I mean, that's the chick that took over for the Miss America thing, right?
He said the chick that took over for the Miss America thing. How about
Oh,
Oscar
boy.
winner?
Oh, that's
so
right.
listen,
Oscar, yeah.
Doctor, I hope that you can hang on the line. Just like Jamie said, we're actually going to
absolutely
go to break, and we'll be right back, and we're going to talk about stats, and we're going to tell you about how you can learn how to actually learn what your stats are all about. Make sure you keep your finger on the pulse of that. And Dr. Fullum will be here, and Dr. Braxton Cosby. We'll be right back.
I'm here too.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Dukes. Dr. dash
hyphen
slash colon
forward slash.
That's right. We'll be back.
We'll be right back. Hey there, this is T. Fox. Got a question for you. Are you looking for a way to lose some of that excess weight and drop a few pounds? Now, if you said, why, yes, I am, you're probably thinking losing weight can't be much fun, but you're wrong. It's time to get your Chatricise on. You've tried a lot of things, jogging, aerobics, not much fun, right? Well, Chatricise is just for you. Chatricise is based on the super popular cha-cha slide, the shuffle, and the other line dances. You know, all the ones you've enjoyed at family reunions, at parties, and during a night on the town. In addition to our traditional Chatricise workout, we're also proud to offer Boomers Chatricise. Boomers Chatricise is for our seasoned folks in the prime of their lives, and it'll be sure to get everything moving and flowing. Chatricise is affordable for everyone. For only $9.95 plus shipping and handling, get the workout routine that will change your life. I know you've heard it before, but this is for real. Chatricise will change your life. And Boomers, we have an AARP discount of $7.95 plus shipping and handling for you. So you know what to do. Get your Chatricise on today. Log on to chatricise.com. That's CHACHERSIZE.com. Ask the Fat Doctors with myself, T. Fox, Dr. Braxton Cosby, and Dr. That's Dr. / Dr. Jamie Dukes.
Thank you.
And Dr. Terry Fullum is with us on the line. And just again, you know, the Ask the Fat Doctors, we have a lot of fun here. And the Ask the Fat Doctors is all about helping people get an understanding about how the diseases of excess weight affect our daily lives. And we're going to have a whole lot of fun in this process. So we're going to go back to our conversation with Dr. Fullum. And we were going to be talking to you, Dr. Fullum, about some of the things that we can do and some of the options when folks are trying to get kind of control of that excess weight and trying to drop a few extra pounds.
You know, Doc, because one of the things that, you know, as you know, as a bariatric, you know, I had bariatric surgery. And so I have the Realize band. And so for me, I believe bariatrics saved my life. But I want you to talk a little bit about kind of give me the whole litany of solutions that are available and where you need to be. So if you have 20 pounds overweight, what do you think is best available in addition to exercise and diet? We know all about that. But just kind of talk a little bit about kind of the thresholds of obesity, so to speak.
Oh, okay. I think that just to give a general sense, as we get older, we have a tendency to gain weight, and most of the studies show that just in your 30s, that you'll gain about 3 pounds a year over that 10-year period. So it's not unusual, just based on basal metabolic rate, the fact that we're not exercising like we weren't as active as we were when we were younger, that we may put 30 pounds on. And
30
that's
pounds,
when we sort of start.
Doc?
30 pounds during the
30
30s.
pounds?
30 during that time. And that's really sort of where we start seeing some of the changes in the 30s and the 40s. Once we get about 100 pounds over our ideal body weight, or once we get to where we're a BMI of 35 or 40, and BMI is body mass index, and that's calculated by our weight in kilograms divided by our height in meters squared. the normal ideal body weight is about 18 to 25. We don't see too many of those people. That's about 10% of the population. And then
so the rest of us is just
29.
Oh, that's
I'm a
Braxton.
10%er.
Yeah.
I'm a 10%er.
And Fullum,
I'm in
Fullum
that 25
is
to
too.
29
All right.
range. But when I work out, I have lots of muscle. That's
No,
my
Fullum
excuse.
is in
I
that
have
group
lots of
too.
muscle. And then once you get about 30, that's about 50, 60 pounds over your ideal body weight, and that's called class 1 obesity. And the importance of that is that we finally start seeing that spike in the increase in medical illnesses that are associated with just the fact that we're gaining weight, we're becoming obese. We start seeing more diabetes, more hypertension, and then once you get into a BMI class 2, that's 35 to 40, and then class 3 or morbid obesity is a BMI of 40 or greater. So, and that correlates with about 100, 120 pounds over the ideal body weight.
Okay, doctor, let me interrupt you right there. Now, this BMI thing, right? I understand, I've done it a couple times. I've plugged in my little numbers, and it kind of spits back at me where I land. How accurate is this BMI measurement?
Now, funny you mention that. It's really because there's another one for people of color. What's that scale?
Is it something different?
There's a different one.
Because it swings. It kind of swings differently.
Well, BMI, correct me if I'm wrong, doctors, I'm sorry, fellow doctors.
Right.
It's been around for centuries almost. Is that right or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know how long it's been around. I mean, it's been important, I would say, since the 1990s when we started seeing the significant increase in obesity. But certainly on the lower end, I think there is some crossover before you get into the 30s. But once you get into the 30s, there's not much crossover. In other words, there are people who are in great shape who have BMIs of 28, 29, and 30. And certainly we know that athletes are super athletes who may need to be larger, offensive and defensive linemen, for example, while they're playing football. A significant number of them, not all of them, but a significant number of them may have higher BMIs, but may be in super shape.
Well, I think
Julius Peppers may be an example of. That's just the one that popped to my mind. Who's just a big man. He's just a big guy. There's no way his BMI is less than 25, but yet he's probably in tremendous shape. But what happens is our lifestyle changes, but our eating habits don't.
If his BMI is 20, if his BMI is 25, then that's saying that he's overweight, obese, right? But that's not
that means
correct.
He's overweight. Obesity starts at a BMI of 30.
Right. And I think it's important to remember, too, that these scales, there's another way to calculate it as well with, like, measurements around the pelvis, the arms, and things like that. And now when you do that type of a measurement for your BMI, you can forget it. The average athlete, I remember reading an article, and they were talking about Emmitt Smith's BMI was 35. And this is when he was in his prime shape, still competing. So, I mean, you measure around his glutes and stuff. He's a power back. He's got these big legs and thighs. There's no way he's going to have a decent BMI, at least by numbers. I think what's important to remember is this is also a predictor of your chances of having heart attack, stroke, diabetes, and all these other things. So it's just a good indicator to say, hey, you need to get it down a little bit. And I think people of color do have a different standard, but it is good to try to follow what the norm is so that you can stay close to, if not under.
Okay, so you can't just, so is it safe to say that we can't just rely 100% on the BMI? Because I got to tell you, doctor. Okay, now listen.
I smell a frenemy coming in. Let me give you a second because you missed Dr. Dukes' frenemies. And we talked about this before. Yeah. So, because I smell a frenemy rearing its head.
I think it's at the door.
The friend no, it's inside. It's the friend from the inside is getting ready to say something. Go ahead, T.
No, this is the thing, Doc. Okay. Dr. Fullum, this is the thing. Now, I've plugged my little BMI numbers in or whatever, and it spits it back, and it tells me that I am like borderline obese. Now, I don't mind putting this out here, okay? Now, I am 5'7", and if you look at me, I mean, I am where I usually, where I usually.
Were you going to say the weight? Because you seem like you skipped. You said 5'7".
We're waiting.
Right over there and went to look at me.
I was about to say the weight. But you know what? And I don't have no problem. I don't have any problem saying the weight either. I'm 5'7", and I'm right now. No. Right now, I'm at 157. Okay. Now there was a time that maybe about a year or so ago there was some emotional things going on with me, so I was eating. I was doing some emotional eating.
Oh, I thought you were looking at me saying, Jamie, I remember there was a time when one of your legs was 157. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So
she was looking at me, Doc, like
so
you did the other day.
So what I did is I got back in. I knew what I had to do. I got back in the gym. I did what I was supposed to do. I know what I'm supposed to do. So I'm down to 157. I put those numbers in, and the BMI tells me that I'm like borderline obese. I don't feel obese. I'm still in my same clothes. I usually mess around 145, 148 is where I usually play ball, 145, 150, somewhere in there. Sure. But it's telling me that I am borderline obese, and it blew me back. I mean, it busted my brain. So you can't just rely just on the BMI. There's got to be some other things that you consider also, right? Otherwise, people are going to be blown. The brains are going to be busted.
That's where the stats comes in. The acronym I came up with that we have on the website now that I'm working on with the blog is that it kind of helps to just get an overall kind of global perception of health and wellness. And we also talked about the definitions from health, wellness, and fitness. And I think all that ties in. You got to look at things on a spiritual level. You got to look at it as far as the type of training you're doing on a daily basis, your activity level, also your cholesterol count. Where are those numbers? Are they in the safe zones for your LDLs and HDLs? And then also sex, of course, in marriage. But
now, I didn't see Steve.
Hold on, Dr. Dukes. Hold on, Dr. Dukes. Hold on. Is this sex? Is this sexual activity, or is this the sex like male versus
No, this is the
female?
activity. This is about the
Sexual
amount of getting
activity.
down.
Oh, that's how much you get down right here.
Get busy.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm trying to correct the doc on. I'm looking at stats, and stats is STATS, and I'm trying to figure out where class comes in.
Cholesterol.
Cholesterol. Where's the C at in the?
It's
that's
the
right.
type
total
of
cholesterol.
Oh, total cholesterol.
Yeah, your total cholesterol count.
Which is
got,
LDL. And
LDLs, HDLs, talk about your triglycerides as well. And all that can be done, with going to your primary care. They can get a total read on that.
That's total cholesterol.
That's everything.
All right. I was just checking
all
on
of
that.
it's in there.
And by the way, for those of you listening, again, log on to AskTheFatDoctors.com. You can submit your questions, Dr. Fullum, Dr. Cosby. And, if you need to holler at Dr. Dukes, I'll answer some questions for you as well.
And you know what? By the way, AskTheFatDoctors.com. You can holler at T-Fox, too.
That's true.
Send us all your questions, and we'll holler back at you.
And I want to add one more thing to that. I think waist circumference is critically important as well. And, for my guys, I like them, if your waist circumference is greater than a 36, then that's a little bit of a concern. And with my girls, 30, 32 at the top.
Okay, well, hold up. Wait a minute. I got another one.
Above that, then I think that's a predictor as well.
Okay, hold on, Doc. Okay, I've got some problems going on over here. Okay, when you say waist circumference, you talk
waist circumference.
Okay, and so what is that for women again?
Certainly no greater than 30. 32 is
oh, T, you're not a 30.
34, 36.
No, 30, 36.
No, that's
in my waist.
For guy.
No.
Or my chest.
30, 32 for female.
30, 32 for female.
34, 36 male.
In my waist. My waist doesn't need to be any bigger than 32.
Right.
That's correct.
Right.
Okay. Okay. I think I might be all right.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just blown back, Doc. The BMI just blew me back, and I'm just trying to make sure I'm on point here.
Yeah. But I think the point that Doc Cosby was bringing up as far as activity level is really critical. Because if you're a couch potato and you're not doing anything to exercise your heart and exercise your muscles and to stay healthy, and you're eating inappropriately, even if the total calories aren't great, and so you're not gaining a lot of weight, you're still not healthy, and you're still at a higher risk. Because what we're really trying to do is improve your health as you move into your middle ages, which is younger and younger as I get older. We want to live long and prosper and be very, very healthy. And you have to adopt a healthy lifestyle and really understand exactly what you're putting into your body and what you can do to exercise your body so that you stay healthy.
Okay, Doc. There's a lot of celebrities and entertainers, as Jamie mentioned at the top of the show. He himself, he's had several teammates that have actually died from the diseases of excess. Yeah, exactly. One is too many. The disease of excess weight, and even as Jamie had his own personal challenges, he had he wasn't a frenemy. We were talking about tough love.
Well, I had those frenemies.
Yeah, you had your frenemies.
Yes.
But you had your one, your one prime time friend. They got in your chest and told
Deion.
you. Yeah.
Deion Sanders, yes. It was a big part of that.
Gave you a tough love kind of situation. So we have some of the celebrities that have battled diabetes and all the other comorbidities. Heavy D, the rapper, who just passed away about a month or so ago. You're familiar with the story. What do you feel about that story, and what do you think may have happened in that case?
Well, I think what happens is probably what happens with most people who are morbidly obese, that they're at a predisposition to dying younger. It can be a respiratory event. It can be a cardiac event. There's a very good study in the medical literature where they compared what happens to people who remain morbidly obese for a long period of time. And so they had two groups of people. One group, BMIs greater than 40, and although they had medical therapy and all those kinds of things, their BMI stayed greater than 40 for 5 years. Another group of people, BMIs greater than 40, had weight loss surgery and had successful weight loss surgery. All of the people in that group, their BMI went under 40 within 5 years, and they looked at the mortality at 5 years, and the mortality was 9 times higher in the group 1 that did not lose the weight than in the group 2. So that basically told us two things. Number one, that obesity is a killer. Not that we don't already know that, but it certainly proved that scientifically. And that number two, if you actually reverse the obesity, you get back your life, you get back your longevity. So the mortality actually can be reduced with effective weight loss. So when we see these overweight people who die younger than they should, one of the things that we look at is we look at how long have they been obese, and most of them have been obese for a long period of time. So this is not somebody who was thin, in high school and thin in their 20s, all of a sudden got overweight in their 30s,
right,
and then died at 35. This is someone who was probably, I don't know how far back, but certainly in his teens and his early adulthood, he was always overweight. We know this because, we know his life story. But this is very typical. This is not an untypical situation whatsoever.
I've got a quick question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I have a quick question, Doc. When you have somebody like a like a Heavy D or my other dude, lean back,
Big Pun.
Holly Berry?
No.
Well, I didn't know her name, so now it's Big Pun.
Big Pun.
What does Big Pun mean?
Big Pun is gone.
That's not a nickname for Halle Berry, by the way.
Right. When you have these guys that have carried that weight and have been overweight for a number of years, and then they go through whatever their choice is, and they drop the weight, then does that actually still put them at a high risk, or once the weight is gone, then all the risk melt away with the weight? How does that work? Or does your body still kind of?
Now, the exciting thing is that the risks reduce significantly with the decreased weight, because when we look at the medical illnesses that are associated with the obesity, that actually is what causes the risk, the hypertension, the diabetes, the obstructive sleep apnea, those go away. With weight loss surgery, the resolution, the complete cure of diabetes is in that 85-90% range. And same thing with hypertension, same thing with obstructive sleep apnea. Degenerative joint disease improves significantly, so the pain in the knees and the hips and the ankles improves. The actual degenerative arthritic changes don't necessarily improve, but the pain improves, and now they're able to be more active. With the being more active, they can exercise more. Exercising, they improve their heart. They drop their cholesterols back down into the normal range. Their blood pressure is under control, and so that risk for the heart attack, the risk for the stroke, the risk for dying a respiratory death from obstructive sleep apnea, the diabetes complications of peripheral vascular disease and the need down the road for amputations or for kidney failure, those go away. Those improve significantly. I won't say they go away, but they improve significantly. And that's the great thing about it, is that if we can actually, cure the obesity, then we're curing the diabetes, we're curing the hypertension, and we're reducing the risks that are associated with them.
Doc, we appreciate you joining us today. And next week is one of the things I want to talk about, and this is going to be, you don't want to miss this, because I think this phrase is the key. You kind of touched on it in when you were talking genetic predisposition. Mm-hmm. I think what people don't understand about weight loss or just excess weight in general is that phrase right there. And so, Doc, we appreciate you joining us, and we'll holler at you next week or the next week or so if you're not, busy. But, again, you can check out Dr. Fullum and also Dr. Cosby on AskTheFatDoctors.com. You can submit your questions, and they will get back to you. And whatever you send is going to be in a secure environment, so you don't have to worry about, your business being out there. This is our chance or our opportunity to help you get the answers and the questions, and really more so guide you in the direction that you need to go. So, Doc Fullum, we appreciate you being with us today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Okay, coming up, we're going to be, in fact, we're going to be taking a question from AskTheFatDoctors.com. As Jamie just mentioned, just simply log on to AskTheFatDoctors.com, submit your question, and we'll be taking them throughout the course of the show. When we come back, we're going to be taking a question from AskTheFatDoctors.com. Are men or women more susceptible to being overweight? Which one, the kind of a battle of the sexes kind of thing. And why are men so hard-headed about their health? All of that and more is coming up right here on AskTheFatDoctors.com. Don't go away.
Do you have questions about how to manage your weight problem? Do you just want to lose 20 pounds? Do you need to lose 100 pounds? I'm Dr. Braxton Cosby, and I want to tell you about AskTheFatDoctors.com. Log on and submit your excess weight-related questions, and we will guide you to the right weight management solution to get the job done. For those of you who are battling diseases like sleep apnea, breast and prostate cancer, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and other comorbidities, the truth is, excess weight is in many cases a contributing factor. AskTheFatDoctors.com wants to help you. We've assembled an army of the best doctors in the world to get you the answers you need to get that weight off, which may be hampering your quality of life. At AskTheFatDoctors.com, privacy is our motto. Your questions will be submitted in a secure environment, and we will respond directly to you. You have our word on that. So log on to AskTheFatDoctors.com and find the solutions you need to get that excess weight off and fight the diseases of excess weight.
Okay, we are back with Ask the Fat Doctors. I am T. Fox, along with my good friend Jamie Dukes, along with Dr. Braxton Cosby. Okay, so now this is the fun segment. This is a lot of fun, and we call this Hold On Player. Now this is
HOP.
Right. Now this is when you're out and about and you may see something, or you may be interacting with a crowd or with your friends.
Like a size 40 woman wearing some leggings and some spandex and tights. Why do they do that?
What is that? What is that? You know what? It's the perception in your head. You know how some folks are like superstars in their own minds? Mm-hmm. It's like they think that they're like a size 6 in their own minds, and it just doesn't work.
6 or 60. But that's the one thing, because I'm in the airports all the time. I mean, everybody's wearing spandex now.
Oh yeah, anybody and everybody can get it.
And they ain't covering stuff up.
No.
It started out with at least cover a little something.
Well, they would have the bigger.
Not anymore.
Well, now they call them jeggings. Now they try to play it off like you're wearing jeans, so you should be able to get away with it, but they fit like spandex.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Doc, you got a hold on player today. Okay, what's the hold on player for you?
I got 2 hold on players.
Well, wait a minute. Did we finish really telling them what hold on player was really all about?
I think that visual was enough.
Well, no. Listen, let me make sure.
I
got it.
Okay,
I got it.
But let me make sure that they truly understand what hold on player is. It's one of those things that kind of make you go, hold on, player. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. What are you thinking? So you have one of those.
I got two.
All right.
I got two. One, I want to talk about my main man, Tim Tebow.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna link this back to the stats. We talk about the S at the end of the stats,
Right.
the acronym.
All right.
We talk about the spiritual wellness. This guy is tapped into something right
Yes.
now going on, and yet he's still getting hated on by the league from the minute he stepped on the field to the starting position. He's been hated on, Jamie. And
Well, you looking at me?
I know you're trying to figure. I know I'm trying to figure out what was going to happen with this. Now the man is 7-1 after eight starts this year. They're back in first place by a game.
Right.
And I just got to say to the rest of the league,
Hold on, player.
I mean, hold on, player. What's going on?
Right.
Why are they still hating on this man?
Well, I think what it is that it's an assault, which is funny to me because see, Tim is just like Michael Vick, Cam, this kid Jake Locker, who's coming in from who's now with the Titans.
But he can't.
But they're athlete. But they're this new era of athlete quarterback. And as with anything, you have the full spectrum of athlete quarterback. So Tim is at the very bottom of the spectrum in the fact that his athletic ability. I mean, he's just a winner.
Yeah.
But as it pertains to the quarterback position, there's that rule of thought where people feel you got to do it a certain way. And so when you complete 3 of your first 16 passes or win a game with 2 completions, that's why the quarterback establishment out there is saying, hold on, player.
Is there a fear that we're now rewriting again? Because, we kind of had these athletic quarterbacks coming through, and, boy, they started picking up, and they kind of became, something that you really wanted on your team. And now he's kind of taking it to another level of athletic quarterback because the numbers aren't even pretty.
Well, can you really say that Tim Tebow is another type of athletic quarterback? Because you know what? It kind of started back there with Randall Cunningham and him running all around the place.
But it was Randall
and
was
he was
one,
athletic.
and now you have
and then you come on up to Michael Vick and Donovan and all your running quarterbacks, all that kind of thing. And now that whole quarterback position has evolved, and now Tim Tebow has taken it to the point where all you have to do is complete two passes.
That part won't last.
What is that? What is that? Now that's a hold on player.
That's exactly what they're saying. That part won't last.
Right.
For him to be effective, because I'll use that same team. When Denver came in, when Josh McDaniels a couple years ago came in, got rid of Jay Cutler, sent him to Chicago, and brought in Kyle Orton. That was a hold-on player in and of itself.
Oh, for sure.
But they ran off, and everybody knew they were going to get killed because they got rid of Brandon Marshall, too, or he was messing with Brandon Marshall, and then they got rid of the tight end, too, because this guy thought he was genius.
Oh, yeah.
But they started off 6-0. In other words, ultimately, these things will catch up to you unless, and this is where, if you look at what he did against Minnesota, the passing piece of it had to come into play.
Right.
Just like they won the other day. The passing piece has to come into the equation, as well. That's one whole.
He has gotten better, though.
Yes.
At the end of the day, really, they're really going to look at what's in the W column and what's in the L column, no matter how you get it. No matter how you get it.
Yeah, no.
Well, no matter how you get it, at the end of the day. Now, if
he wins the Super Bowl.
I was about to say, now if he goes to the Super Bowl and puts it in the W column, then what? It don't matter how he got it. He got the W. He got the ring.
But he's not getting to the Super Bowl. He's not getting to the Super Bowl. That's not happening.
The other one I have, Jamie, let's talk about Lamar Odom leaving L.A.
Wait a minute, but no, can I just inject right here? Really, it's not even just about Lamar Odom leaving L.A. It was the whole craziness with them nixing the deal. The whole thing. That's a hold-on player there.
That was a hold-on player. How did that happen? How all of a sudden the NBA owns the Hornets?
Well, the NBA owns the NBA. And the problem is, and I can't say I necessarily disagree with it, these super teams are being created. And so because these super teams are being created, the problem has become they're worrying about these small markets where all the problem is generating from, the Oklahoma Cities, the Charlottes, those kind of markets.
Well, right.
They can't compete if you got these super teams in Miami, Boston, L.A.,
and
Miami.
You know what? They stacking the deck in New York, too.
Well, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
So that's the problem that they have, and that's part of the reason why he nixed the deal. But, the hold-on player, I think, has to do more with I think it has more to do with the Kardashians as far as the hold-on players, because that fraud that's been going on out there.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? Just hold on. Did you really think that Kim was really into this cat? Come on, man. No, I shouldn't even say come on, man. I should say hold on, player. Right
exactly
there.
right.
Come on. Did you really think for 1 minute that was real?
Well, it was real because it was all about ratings. It was all about the show. It was all because think about it. When the only person that you can find is a celebrity, that's the only people you're interested in.
Right.
You know, I mean, you could have gone out and grabbed the CEO of whatever if it was about money.
But she could have done that with Reggie Bush when she was messing
but
around with
I don't think Reggie was going to go for it. That was the problem.
Well, the problem was it was Reggie and company. You know, and I mean, it was the mileage was an issue.
Right.
I'm not talking about freaking flyer miles.
Right.
Do we need to check her stats?
The first one specifically.
You're running out of stats on that one.
Right.
I mean, you have to turn into another stat page. I mean, that's where that was.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, you know what? If you have a Hold On player, why don't you log on to askthefatdoctors.com and send your Hold On players to us also. And if you just have a question about some of the things we've been discussing throughout the course of the show, please log on to askthefatdoctors.com. Okay, that's going to do it for us here at Ask the Fat Doctors with myself, T. Fox, Jamie Dukes, and Dr. Braxton Cosby. And thank you so much for tuning in. And again, we encourage you to log on to askthefatdoctors.com. Check your stats. Make sure you know exactly where you are, and we will meet you right back here next week.
And we're going to talk next week about
the
genetic predisposition.
Right.
You don't want to miss that conversation.
Is it an excuse or is it for real? That's what we need to cap.
Oh, that's good.
I smell a battle coming on.
Oh, yeah.
I smell a frenemy.
I got facts on my side. And I'll leave you with these facts. When you can explain to me the size 2 that we all know, all know somebody's a size 2 that eats like a pig and she's still a size 2.
That's right.
Soon as you, doc, and some of these other doctors out there, because that's a big part of the problem too, is that PCPs and general practitioners, they don't recognize genetic predisposition.
That's
they just think it's a mind over matter. So next week, me and what's your name again? Dr.
That's Braxton Cosby over here to my left.
Braxton,
Physical therapist.
That's right.
Dr. Braxton
and a
Cosby.
bunch of other physical and certified training, all that other kind of stuff.
All them other doctors.
And Dr. Dr. /
Colon.
Dukes.
Yeah,
We're
Dukes.
going to go at it. You don't want to miss this battle.
That's right. We'll see you next week.